Alright guys, how's it going? I had a long weekend, so I'm sorry about the videos. Trying to get back on track now. Something we need to talk about what's going on right now. Everybody thinks Trump's going to be going to prison, jailed, and all these things. I have a very strange feeling something is going to drop before then, and things are fixing to get very heated and crazy. These Democrats think they won. They're actually scared and are crapping their pants right now. There's things Trump knows because he was president before that they don't want out. This is one reason why they're trying to shut him up right now. And it's not turning out too good for them. Because the harder they squeeze, the more Trump is willing to let the truth out of the basket, basically. Something we have to do is pray for Trump, pray for his family, pray for everybody that's in his circle that is helping him. There are people in his circle that are going to betray him. And there's going to be things that's going to come out. All I can say is don't believe everything you hear. Everything that people are saying is a lie right now is going to be the truth. And everything that they're saying is the truth is going to be the lie. So if you listen to Congress, you got the Democrats saying that Trump's all these things and that it's been proven. Nothing's been proven. Nothing. We have to understand that this is a game that they're playing. And the best way to win this game is to let it play out. Because they're getting arrogant and they're revealing their hand. Now that Trump has the one conviction of the 34 counts, this has enabled some things to take place. So there needs to be some, I'm not going to say discretion, but there's going to be some things that's going to happen that's going to upset a lot of people. When the truth really comes out, the American people are going to be really upset. All I can say is pray to God to give you the strength to get through it. Have an open mind. And people, please, don't be blaming everybody and don't be trying to go after everybody else. People make mistakes. We're human. This is one reason why God says don't judge people. It's God's path to judge. It's our job to forgive whoever it is and pray to God that He can help us forgive that person so we can move on. We need to pray for God to stabilize our mind for the stuff that's fixing to come out. Now, I don't make predictions. I do not I'm not going to tell you that July 2nd Trump is going to be president. By July 4th everything's going to be up and running and we're going to be better off than what we were at the beginning of the year. Not saying that. I will never say that. But what I will say is I have a strange feeling this month, June 2024, is going to be the start of politicians, congressmen, governors, mayors, police, sheriffs start resigning. They are going to start running because of what they've done. A lot of them are going to be flipping, turning evidence against some of these people. Because let me ask you a simple question. If every cop is as good as everybody says they are, how is trafficking happening? How come the narcotics still on the streets? If cops are as good as they say they are, how come they're still there? And a lot of people are going to say, well, that's a stupid question. It's because it's too much for them to handle. Really. I mean, I've seen a cop pull over a veteran and rob him of $30,000 saying it was drug money when he was going to pay his daughter's tuition with cash. So, I mean, if that is legit to you, you're still asleep. And this is going to be a rude awakening for you. Because they're not out there protecting anybody. They're out there compensating for the state, and they get bonuses for the compensation. So they act the way they do because they actually get paid bonuses for some of the crap they're doing. They get a cut. So don't sit there and tell me that I'm wrong, you're right, that everybody in the world's wrong that pays attention to this stuff. There is a lot of problems in our systems. This is why everything has to be burnt down to the ground and rebuilt. The court systems are shot. You haven't been able to get a fair trial in any state in the United States for the past 3 decades. I can tell you that. Well, I went to court and I won my case. Yeah, you were one of the lucky ones. Because I've seen people go into court that was before me. They had the evidence that backed up their side of the story, and they turned around and said they couldn't use it. Now that's a fair system, right? So they don't care about you. They don't care about right and wrong. They only see how much money they can get out of you. That's all they care about. It's to keep the poor, the middle class into the poor class, and the rich stay rich. That's all it's about. And if everybody's sitting there telling me that I'm wrong about this, then explain why middle class people are now struggling almost twice as bad as the poor people were. See, poor people learn how to handle money. They know what they can afford. They know what they can't. They know how to stockpile for a bad day. Middle class don't. So therefore, they're suffering more because they don't know what they're doing. So we need to understand that just because you got money doesn't mean you're better off. Okay? We really need to sit down and start praying and get right with God, because that's going to be the only thing that's going to save you. Putting all your faith into God right now will protect you in the time of need that's coming. If I could buy $1,000 worth of groceries for every household in the United States and tell them to put it in their pantry, I would do it. But I can't do that for myself right now. So you have to make a decision. Are you going to trust in God? Or are you going to trust in man? In the Bible it says God will not forsake you. He will not fail you. He keeps his word. So I'm putting my faith, all my eggs, if you will, in his basket, in his hands. And I have faith he'll protect me. I just think with everything I'm seeing today and over the weekend, people are starting to lose their mind. So if you want to stop and think about this being a movie, we are probably at the last 15 minutes of the show. Maybe 20 minutes left. So we still got a little bit to go, but not much. And I believe God is going to reveal a lot of stuff to us in weeks. We may be getting bombshell after bombshell after bombshell. I think today it was posted that Trump would be willing to declassify JFK assassination, the Epstein stuff, and there was something else, and I can't remember what it was, but that is a pretty big chip going against the deep state people. And they're not happy about that. So the American people, I think, are ready. 90% of us are ready for all that. The other 10% are going to have their hands held. And we have to be willing to help them, because they're mentally going to be broken. They're not going to be able to handle the truth. So something I would say is, if we're going to go through this, please make sure you have a clear mind. Don't fall into some of the rhetoric that's going to be going on. Don't believe everything you hear. Just like a book, you can't read a book, even a history book, without taking it with a grain of salt, if you know what I mean. If you don't know what I mean, taking someone's advice with a grain of salt means you're skeptical of it. You don't know how much of it to believe, how much of it to not believe. So I don't remember when the Wright brothers flew the first plane, but in Japan they're saying they had kites that were twice the size of a man and was flying from mountaintop to the top of a house and landing like a bird. Read that in a few books, and I'm like, I don't believe that. I could be wrong, but it doesn't sound right to me. There's a lot of things that we have to set and understand. Just because someone says something under oath doesn't mean that it's true. Okay? Look at Comey, the lawyer. He lied under oath a second time. When the cross-examination came across for Trump, he even admitted to stealing $30,000 from Trump, the campaign. And Trump knew nothing about it. So you can't believe, well, it was said under oath in court, so therefore it's true. No. Cops perjure themselves all the time in courts. You can't trust what they say. So you have to take things with a grain of salt. If you believe everything that you read and see and hear, you're not an educated person. You're gullible. You're easily manipulated. You need to get right with God so that doesn't happen to you. If you are trustworthy of what people say to you, then I'm sorry, there's nothing I can do for you. I can't tell you what to believe and what not to believe. You have to come up with that decision by yourself. But at the same time, you can't get mad at everybody else for believing differently than you. I believe Jesus Christ walked this world back in the day. You're not going to change my mind of that. So therefore, am I a liar because I believed in Jesus Christ? How are you going to prove that he didn't live when we have testimony in the Bible that he did live? So there is no body. So we have to start taking things a little bit more seriously and stop taking things literally. Someone says something to you don't like, brush it off, say God bless, and move on. Someone wants to get physical with you, try to walk away the best you can. If you have to, punch them in the face and walk away. Do what you need to do to survive. I'm not telling you any differently. I'm not telling you to drop down to your knees and start praying when somebody gets violent with you. In my opinion, that would be the worst thing. But at the same time, you need to say a prayer in your head. Say, Lord, give me the strength and help me get out of this alive. And make sure you believe in that, and He'll get you out alive. But we have to sit down and understand that prayer can only do so much. We have to actually put forth some effort too. And how do we do that? Well, we put forth the effort by speaking to our family and friends about what's going on, making sure everybody is taken care of, whether you hate the person in your family or not. In my opinion, you shouldn't hate anybody in your family. A lot of family members disown other family members because they don't like something about it. You know, they're about them because they're going against the way they think it should be, instead of letting people live. We've gotten too selfish. We need to break that cycle, start praying with God, and let God take control of our lives. Okay, guys? You guys have a good night. Remember, God loves you. And I will talk to you guys tomorrow.